Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, guys, uh, I asked what this reading was going to be about, what our conversation is going to be about. And I don't know if I've had just too much attitude today. Maybe, maybe I have excess attitude because the answer I heard was, So I don't know what this talk is going to be about, but I'm ready. Or I don't know, maybe I'm ready, maybe I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Let's just get some cards ready. Just gotta breathe. Breathe deep, breathe slow. I don't know. Have you guys been feeling kind of spicy today? Have you been feeling sassy, spicy, and full of life today? I don't know. I do know that I've noticed in the past maybe 24 to 48 hours that hazy feeling, the uncertainty, um, kind of like that sense of not knowing what direction, what I'm supposed to do, kind of just floating along. That sensation has greatly disappeared. I'm feeling refocused. I'm feeling very much um, recentered. And I'm just allowing myself the time to take the appropriate steps to um, push forward again in a very intentional and very powerful way. So there's definitely a shift. There's definitely a shift. There's almost like, I don't know why the word reawakening comes to mind. Reawakening. Reawakening. I don't know. I guess it'll make sense as we pull some of the cards. It'll make sense. It'll definitely make sense. So guys, I'm super excited. I know I might sound like a broken record, but I'm just super excited. I'm already making the plans for our in-person event. If that's something you really want to be part of, keep an eye out. I'm going to first announce um I'm going to first announce in our sanctuary all the details. They get first dibs on everything. They get first dibs on all the opportunities. And so just you guys, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, so let's see what these cards are saying because this is looking intense. Already, this is looking very intense. Okay. There's something that's being initiated. This is something that is going to take some time. It's going to take quite a bit of time. And it's going to kind of create a sense of destabilization. Okay. So, uh, invocation, containment, and initiation. There's something that was called forward. I don't know what it is, but oh my God. Again. Okay. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna like, just chillax. Okay? As my niece used to say when she was a toddler, alax, okay? She couldn't say relax. She would say alax. So we just need to alax just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. I think this has to do with someone, not you. Um, no wonder. No wonder I heard. All right. So there's someone, something trying to call you forward. They they don't know what to do. Whoever this is for you, it's the same person. They don't have the courage to approach you. Um, They're like hoping, it seems, they're hoping that you will reach out, that you will extend an olive branch. They're trying to keep their feelings and their experience contained. You intimidate them to the utmost degree. And I mean, okay, you just do. You intimidate them to the utmost degree, and they're struggling, but they're trying to find a way to initiate conversation. They're trying to find a way to initiate the opportunity for reconnection. It's up to you whether you want to reconnect or not. Um, this doesn't, again, feel like it's someone that's super de duper toxic. I don't feel like this is someone who has intentionally tried to harm you emotionally, mentally, or any other way. I feel like this is someone that's just like, they're very discombobulated within themselves because of however they moved with you, right? Whatever they did, they absolutely regret it. I mean, can you really blame them? You're fucking fabulous. It just took them a little bit to figure out that, your degree of fabulosity was something they just couldn't live without. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just need some hydrogen. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they just need some hydrogen water. Hydrogen water is really good for recovery. Maybe they just need to recover from you. I'm just saying. Michael says, "Can you just take this seriously for once?" I can't. I can't. He says, "Why can't you take this seriously? Why do you need me to take it seriously? This is a general reading. It has nothing to do with me." Um, okay, let me see. So they want to reconnect with you. That's up to you if you want to allow it. Um, whatever decisions they made that kind of led them away from you, they regret it severely. I don't know that you did anything bad. I don't know that I don't know that there's anything that you are needing to feel guilty about. Things kind of just played out the way they did, and that's that. That's that, right? If if you're curious and they do reach out, if you're curious what they want, then that's the perfect opportunity to ask them point blank, like, "Hey, so what's up? What's the reaching out about?" Right? It doesn't have to be anything confrontational. It doesn't have to be anything that is extremely detrimental to your sense of self, their sense of self. It doesn't have to be detrimental to any of that. Do you know what I'm saying? So, kind of just play it by ear. This is something that's going to continue on. This is something that's going to continue on for quite some time. Um, it's honestly my hope that even if it continues on for quite some time, that it doesn't continue to hijack the readings. Just being honest. Just being honest. I absolutely respect when people need to go through their process. Um, but it's kind of just like they kind of need to process it within themselves. You can only hear the same thing for so many videos before it's just like Michael says, "Don't say it." Okay, I won't say it. I won't say it. So, at the very least, this is something that's going to continue through winter, right? Because uh, that's fucked up. I just got a notification. It says, "Get rid of back fat and bra bulge." That's so fucked up. That's just so sad. Okay, focus, girl. Focus. Focus. Oh my God, I feel so attacked. I have back fat. It's true, I do. So this is going to continue through till winter, all the way through winter. This person is very much in their emotions, which that's valid. Um, that's valid. I'm kind of in my emotions now too, because it's like, that's such a stubborn area. Do you understand how lean I have to get for that to go away? Okay, you're gonna be fine, girl. You're gonna be fine. It's just little squishies. It's little squishies. It's just little squishies. That's gonna be okay. So, what you need to do is focus on balancing yourself while whoever this is um, figures themselves out. I don't think you have to do anything, to be honest. I don't. I feel strongly that you kind of walking away, like creating a distance. Um, is this like someone that has some type of soul-based connection with you? Is that why? I'm assuming you guys are still feeling this person. I'm assuming you're still feeling this person to some degree. You're aware of their experiences and their emotions. And maybe that's why this information keeps coming through to kind of give you clarity that this emotion, it's not yours. It's not yours. Okay, so then that makes sense. That makes sense why this keeps coming through. I'm very much about like whatever I know about someone needs to come from the person. I'm just yeah. I am not the type of person who um just because I can read someone, I'm going to read you and I'm going to make assumptions about you and I'm going to extract from you parts of your history and memories and all of that so that I can make a decision about you. Like I'm not cool with that. That's not okay. So, I'm the type of person where um whatever I know about you should absolutely come from you. And I've always been this way. If people come to me telling me details about you, I'm gonna be quick to be like, why are you telling me this? Motherfucker, I don't talk shit like that. If I'm gonna talk shit, I'm not gonna talk with you about my shit. There are only like 3 or 4 people in this world who I'm gonna share my shit talking with. And again, those 3 or 4 people know that person I'm talking about. If they come and ask me, I will say it directly to them. I'm not about spreading all of that stuff. So if they want you to know something, they need to come and tell you. Oh, is that what it is? Are you like, this is someone you have a soul connection with? You have a soul connection with them, and they're hoping that you can feel them and that will cause you, the highly empathic person, you're like super magical in their eyes. It will cause you to be like, hey, I'm going to reach out because I can feel you and I want to make sure that you're okay. Hmm. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I only do that with people that like I'm actually friends with. You know what I mean? I don't know how to feel about that. It feels intrusive. I don't know. You guys do whatever you want with that information. But whatever this is, you've kind of like disengaged. They've felt you disengage. And because you've disengaged, it's caused them to kind of be like, oh my God, I'm really losing the opportunity to connect with you. Like, I thought you would always sustain this unspoken connection. And I don't know. This is drama. It is. It's giving me forehead wrinkles. It's just drama. I You guys have a different tolerance level than I do. I'm very upfront. I'm very direct. And I personally prefer people be upfront and direct with me. So, if this is something you guys are willing to entertain, you go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. If this is the dynamic that you and whoever this is have established and you like that, then keep on. Keep right on. I'm totally serious. I'm totally serious. Some people like that kind of thing. I don't. I don't. So, whatever this is, they're very upside down in their foundation. It's almost like they feel as though their life is falling apart, knowing that your energy has been retracted. But see, this is a good thing, and I'll get into it in a moment. They feel like they can feel it. They can feel that you've pulled your energy back tremendously. You did good. You pulled your energy back because now you're using your energy for something that you're trying to create for yourself. And because they feel that, they're responding and reacting to that sense of rejection. When in reality, you guys have walked different paths for however long you've walked different paths at this point. I don't see what the big deal is. But again, I'm very direct, I'm very matter of fact. So they've been in a process of trying to clear you out of their thoughts, and they can't. This kind of stuff cracks me up. Why? Because people want to play like you're not important, but you are. Whether you realize it or not, you have an effect on the people in your life. And if those people want to play like you're no big deal, that they can replace you, that whatever, whatever, now they're finding out that they can't. And all you have to do is exist. That's how powerful you are. These are the things for you to be aware of so you can get a better idea of the gravity of your mere existence, just existing. You are just existing. And it is something where it's like, they're absolutely being internally wrecked by the awareness that they suddenly have that you just kept on walking. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel I feel like maybe what needs to happen is they need to just have the time and the space to continue processing whatever's going on in their life. um, the decisions were already made. And if you both can reach a point where you are different people than the last time your paths crossed, and this time, if your paths cross again, the differences that have occurred within each of you separately are now causing you both to be proper aligned for friendship, for romance, whatever it is y'all have planned with each other, then perfect. Perfect. I mean, I honestly don't know what the big deal is here. I don't. I don't understand it. There's things with personal connections that I don't understand how to read those types of circumstances, because to me, I see very clear paths that end in very clear results. And if you don't want that result, then don't choose that path. It's very cut and dry for me, right? If, like, for example, for like friendship, right? Let's use that as an example. If we have a friendship and we've never argued, and for the first time in the history of that friendship, spanning multiple years, we have a difference of opinion, and you decide to use that as the opportunity to try and destroy me because you're pissed, but then that's not friendship anymore. That's crossed the boundary line for me. Very cut and dry. But you feel like here and see me. My energy is booming. It cut my internet for a second. Same situation. It's a term friendship lasting multiple years. And again, there's some type of misalignment, misagreement, or disagreement. Um, and you choose to force your absence upon me to punish me for not having the same view as you. That's done. Because I would never punish you like that. I will quietly deal with my feelings because it's not your responsibility to deal with my feelings. That's my responsibility. If something you did disappoints me, I need to take a look at why was I disappointed? Is my expectation of you aligned with the reality of who you are? Do I have this um pre-made idea of the character that I'm trying to force you to play in my life? Because that's not okay on my part. That's not okay. I need to be able to accept you as you because that's real friendship, right? So I'm wondering, is this a thing where whoever this individual is, did they think that they could do their same toxic type games with you that they do with other people, where I'm going to withhold myself because when I do that, people chase after me? Okay, first and foremost, if you're talking about me personally, because that's all I can really, I don't know how to read situations. Not like that, not situations like that. First and foremost, um, so I'm autistic, like literally, I'm autistic. That's why I can't read situations like that. You have to be direct with me, or I'm not going to understand what the hell is going on. And if I don't understand what's going on, I'm going to accept your actions at face value. You do that, that means you don't want me around, and I will always completely remove myself. Secondly, I have ADHD, like raging ass ADHD is true. My ADHD holds raves, hamster raves. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have ADHD, out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see you, if I don't have anything that reminds me of you, you cease to exist in my mind until something somewhere down the line reminds me of you. Yeah. This is how I can go weeks, months, years without communicating with someone, even though there's no issue. I'll go a very long time without communicating before I'm like, oh my God, I haven't talked to you in forever. I better check if everything's okay, you know? So if people think they're going to punish us by withholding themselves, I'm just like, okay, because look, banishment hex. I'm assuming that's what they did. They tried to punish you, but maybe they didn't realize you're like high functioning Asperger's, which I am. They didn't realize you have a wicked ass case of ADHD. It is what it is. Now, shifting focus to you, because I feel like that person's had enough of our time. Whoever this is for you, let them deal with whatever they're dealing with. If they want to come forward and you're open to them coming forward, by all means, go right ahead. Um, if, you know, because we have to understand there's nuances and differences, right? As much as I don't understand people, I do understand that for some people, they'll behave in the way they do because their own traumas are being triggered by your presence. Not that you're doing anything, but maybe they're intimidated by you. Maybe you're so high value in their eyes that it becomes something where um, they want to sabotage it first before you have the opportunity to take a good look at them and understand and decide for yourself that they're not worthy of you. I mean, some people function in that way. Like, I get that. But I mean, how much do you have to put up with? Right. So, if that was a situation where they're having all of this trauma rising up to be cleared, to be processed, integrated, and that's why things kind of faltered between you two, maybe they do need a little bit of grace where it's like, okay, maybe just hear what they have to say this time around. Not necessarily welcome them back in, but allow for conversation so that you can have the opportunity for informed decision making, right? Now, if they intentionally were playing games just because they thought they could get away with it, fuck that shit. Toss their basura ass to the motherfucking curb. Don't waste your time. You got a lot of good shit happening. Telling you. I'm telling you. Sometimes, and this doesn't apply to everyone, but it's something that's everyone should be aware of. Sometimes people see the beauty in your life and they can't stand it. So they come back to try and bring your beauty upside down. They try and turn everything upside down because heaven forbid you have something good for yourself. Heaven forbid you actually are allowed to enter into a space of self healing. I don't know. I'm kind of at a point in my life at my age where my priority is first and foremost my healing and then my family, meaning my immediate family, my husband and my children. Um, Anything short of those things, I'm kind of just like, I'm not going to commit my emotions to it if it's something that doesn't move me in the direction of further healing. I can't. I don't want to. And it's not me necessarily being angry or wanting to get my lick back, or I don't even believe in that shit. Like revenge for what? That's a fucking waste of your energy. It is. The best revenge is to just literally move on with your life. Not even plan a revenge. You know how many people in this world are so fucking bent out of shape because I just simply moved on as though they never existed. Like, didn't even take the time to be pissed off and wish them harm or any of that. Like, succeed, fail, whatever you want to do, you go do that. I don't care. Genuinely, like, that has nothing to do with me. You go live your life. I'm busy living mine. Yeah. People get so riled up over that. Like, oh, look at her continuing to exist. Like, what did you want me to do? What did you want me to do? Do you want me to be destroyed by someone who is irrelevant in my life? I mean, that's a harsh thing to hear, but it's the reality. If you've continued to exist in their absence for however long they've been absent, babe, do you even need them in your life? So let them process whatever they're processing. And if it's curiosity, then, you could definitely be open to hearing what they have to say, just to hear it before you continue carrying on. You guys might walk in the same direction at this point after the conversation, or your paths might diverge again. Perfectly fine. Okay. Um, it doesn't have to be absolute extremes that you're living. It doesn't. You could be neutral in your observation, like, oh, okay, so you've changed in these ways. That's fascinating. You've done quite a bit of work on yourself. Impressive. Oh, okay, so you're still in the same space from the last time we communicated. Oh, that's odd. I would have thought with X amount of years having passed that you would have grown and shifted and changed. Hmm, okay. And then make a decision whether that person should have space in your life or it's just time to carry on. Your energy needs to go towards what you actually want to build for yourself. It just does. You see, you had put so much of your energy into pining away, into waiting, into questioning, and possibly even gaslighting yourself. All the things that you needed this individual to say to you to help you to understand why things went the way they did. Whether it's friendship, romance, work, whatever it is, all these things that you wanted to hear but was left unsaid. So much is communicated in silence. So much. And for me, as someone who's highly empathic, when your silence is deafening, that tells me everything I need to hear, everything I want to hear but never did. Mm. If you ever found it hard to keep up, you're not alone. This is a reminder. That's what the notification says. Mhm. All I know is whatever you've already worked through, don't regress. Don't revert back to the same version of you that existed when you felt very wounded by something, by someone, by a circumstance, by a decision, by a lack of an opportunity, um, by an option being removed, or whatever happened. Whatever happened, it's already happened. It's something that's added to your growth. It's cultivated ripening of your understanding of yourself, your power, all of these really beautiful things, right? And so you just go ahead and you accept that and you carry forward. You take that expanded reservoir of energy, emotion is energy, and you use that as a fuel to continue on your journey. You need to have very clear boundaries, right? Um, Clear boundaries in different definitions of clear boundaries where people have a complete understanding that they are not allowed to cross this specific boundary line, and that there are very specific consequences when they do. Clear boundaries also in that you don't need to use brick walls to hide behind. You're not in danger, not in danger of losing yourself, not in danger of being invaded by some other person. No, just a very clear boundary line. I was telling my husband earlier today, um, I came to a realization. People pretty much don't message on social media at this point, which most social media businesses, like influencers, especially content creators, um, the way you get your business to thrive is through engagement, private as well as public. And the more you engage someone, the more that person thinks that you have a connection with them, a personal connection. And usually they're exploiting psychology. Usually that will get them to be more dedicated. They'll be loyal. I don't do that. I don't want to fake that. I don't anything. You know what I mean? So people don't message. And it's not necessarily that messages are not welcome. It's that I've cultivated a very clear boundary, a very clear boundary. There are some people that I am drawn to, and some people um, who wish I was drawn to them. And I find both very valid. I don't have the time for that type of engagement. And I've even instructed my team, unlike some content creators, I will not sit there and try and mislead you into thinking we have a friendship if there is not one. It's a very clear boundary. But that doesn't take away from your awareness of my character, right? You know, part of my character, an intrinsic part of my character is kindness, genuine concern, genuine love for people, especially people in our community, right? What needs to happen is you need to establish that boundary so more of your energy can go towards what it is you are building. What are you actually trying to create for yourself? What type of opportunities? Because life is about to get very serious. And it's about to get serious in the way that you're being given the opportunity, you're being given the options to select from that could forever change the trajectory of your life. What are you going to choose? What is it? And I know for many of you who are highly empathic, highly sensitive, um, you've really been pre programmed to feel deeply that if you choose anything that has to do with you and any type of benefit to you, that you're being selfish. It's time you know the truth. For those of us who are highly empathic, part of the way your empathy was developed was through gaslighting, through trauma, through witnessing things that were very difficult early in life. And the things that you witness, the things that you live through, the things you struggle to survive through are part of the reasoning why that program exists in you, where you are consistently worried about everyone else and not concerned enough about yourself and your well-being. That program had to exist to ensure that you do not misuse the elevated gifts that you are here to harness in this life. It's part of a security measure to ensure the likelihood of you being out of control and becoming this wicked, selfish person with these elevated gifts is much lower. It causes you to care about other people, but at no point did creation ask you to swear an oath to suffering and struggle. I had to learn that the hard way. It took me many years to learn that. I was never asked or required by Creator to suffer, struggle, and be impoverished. I blocked off so much abundance. I blocked off so many paths. Why? Because I convinced myself it would be selfish. Selfish to what? To allow the very thing that would give me the opportunity to distribute more, to share more. You need to begin seeing yourself in the reality of who and how you are. You know, I learned some really amazing things about humanity when I was homeless. And these things really stuck with me. You know, you would think, you would assume that homeless people, because they're homeless, they're impoverished, they're in a destitute state, they're desperate, right? That if you gave them money, if you gave them something, they just gonna hoard it for themselves, that they would steal from each other. That's so far from the truth. That's so far from the truth. Yeah. We never allowed members of the homeless communities that we were part of during that period to interact with our children, except for an elderly couple. They were an elderly couple, and they were always just so concerned. I remember at one point, you know, it was going to start getting cold, and the guy, um, he went into his truck because they were living in a small truck. He went into his truck and he was digging around, and we're like, "What is this guy doing?" He's like, "Put all his stuff out. What the heck?" He was actually digging through his belongings to find a brand new parka. It was a winter jacket. It was a really good winter jacket too. Why was he doing that? Because he wanted to give it to our oldest son. Man, my kids had everything they needed. They had everything they needed. They all had jackets and everything like that. So it wasn't that type of situation for us. We just needed our brakes fixed. That was it. But we never were without the things that were necessary. I remember another time, um, Jeff found out that I love watermelons. And hey, I don't know what happened. Okay. That's my disclaimer right now. I don't know what happened. All I know is they asked us to meet them in a parking lot nearby, and we did, and we were parked far from the store, and we were speaking to the wife, and she turns around and looks back at the store. She goes, "Oh my God, I'll be right back." She goes and gets her car. She hurriedly goes to their truck, and I see him running out. I will assume he bought the watermelon. I see him running out of the store. Elderly man gripping a watermelon. And then he hurriedly gets in her car and they drive off. I was like, What just happened? I do not know what happened. And then there was commotion in the front of the store after they were gone. And then she goes and texts me like 10 minutes later and asks us to meet her in a different area. And I'm like, what happened? And he comes out of the car carrying a watermelon. He goes, I got you a gift. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Another time we met them and he had found out that I like flowers. Right? He was never inappropriate with me. He found out that I liked flowers and they asked us to meet with them in a parking lot somewhere. And he had like a huge, a huge planter. I was like, where am I going to put that? Where? Thank you so much. You are so kind. They gave our kids all kind of different toys. Where they're getting these toys from, to the point where I had to pull her aside one day and be like, "Girl, I appreciate the love that you have for my family, especially for my children. Stop. You don't have to do all of this." You know, she said to me, she said, "I've never met people as kind as you. This is just our way of loving you." They had nothing. There were some days they didn't eat, and I know that for a fact. And I would ask them, "Hey, do you want to have lunch?" And they would always say no because they would never want to take from whatever limited resources they felt we had to feed our children. None in the homeless community ever stole from each other. None. None. They never stole from each other. Not where we were at. And we got into quite a few different homeless communities. They all embraced us, all of them. Always very generous, very protective, because they knew we had children. And they were always very like, hey, don't do that near that RV, okay? Don't bother the kids. Yep. There's so much good in this world. So much good in this world. And the good is usually hidden in the people who are toss outs, the ones that society casts aside. The empaths, all of you guys. I'm fairly certain the people in your environment, your family, um, they've made you feel as though you're a castaway, that you're the black sheep, that you don't belong, that you are weird, that you are this, that you are that. And that's really caused you to be so negative towards yourself. It's time for you to allow yourself to receive what is rightfully for you. Because I will tell you right now, this is a fact. This is a fact. Anything that's been set aside for you by creation can never be taken by someone else. It will never be given to someone else. It is for you. Do I know where they are now? No. No, I don't. It would be very hard to find them. Very, very hard to find them. That was so many years ago. That was like 7, 8 years ago. So I don't even know if they're still um, around. I don't know what state they've gone to. I don't know. I'm not even in the area that all of that was at. So, you know, everything that's for you, it's set aside and it just waits for you. It waits for you to be willing to receive it. In order for you to receive it, you need to clear the path. You need to clear that space that allows for it to come through. And you denying yourself the very nourishment, right? Hi, Nina. Thank you. Um, for you to deny the very things that are meant to nourish you, the love, the support. Oh no. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Sorry, it's about to die. We're reviving the battery. For you to deny the very things that are meant for you, to nourish you, to make it easier and more feasible, for you to work on the very gifts that you're here to cultivate. May I be frank with you? That's mad fucking disrespectful, bro. That is mad disrespectful. You know how many people are waiting for you? People you don't even know that exist. And you're over here playing small, hiding away. I know this harsh way to talk to you, but needs to get through. It needs to get through. The type of success that you are destined to experience and continue to push away, it's not just for you. Do you understand that? It's not just for you. Let's use me as an example. Um, I don't think anything I do is really a big deal. That's why I've hidden much of my actual work and the gravity of that work for so long. It's only within maybe the past 6 months or so, if that, that I've even spoken about etheric quantum medicine and the fact that I can do it easily. Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just, I don't know. I've always been able to do it. What's the big freaking deal? What's the big freaking deal? Well, because I offer people something no one else can. I offer insight. I offer cultivated abilities. I offer a sacred space that encourages people to blossom wholeheartedly and with the type of courage that doesn't allow them to wilt anymore. To me, it's just like you just needed someone to hear. It's not a big deal. Anyone can do that, just to listen. How respectful and loving is it if I continue to hide away and pretend like I couldn't do the things that I do because it's normal for me? It's not a big deal to me. But for those of you who have experienced the actual gravity and weight of the work that I do, either in private sessions or through expedites, how many of you are like, girl, you were able to do for me what no one else in my life could do? Not family, not people I love, not doctors, not specialists, not surgeons, not nothing. Therapists and all of that. Can you imagine? Could you imagine? There have been people suffering in pain for years on end, years on end. And then finally, they come across my path, and I'm like, oh, we could totally, yeah, no, we just got to adjust a few things. And then suddenly there's no more pain in their body. No medication, no nothing. Don't even have to travel to me, nothing. Just fix it right then and there. I can't do that for everyone, of course. There's certain things that require multiple things, but you know, it's not the gravity of my gifts that weighs heavy on me. Because again, that's my norm. That's my norm. It's not a big deal to me. What weighs heavy on me is the awareness that there are people who exist who didn't have to suffer as long as they have. Had I just found the courage to be visible sooner. That weighs very heavy on me. Michael's reminding me of something. My husband's relatives visited recently, his cousins. Um, and one of his cousins, the husband, passed away. He had a cardiac event. And of course, um, they called the ambulance, and the ambulance they used a defibrillator en route to the hospital, and there were other things that occurred, but he basically went into cardiogenic shock, and then he died. And my husband's family has never seen this side of me. We've been together, I think, like 26 years at this point. We're working on 26 years, and they've never seen. They're completely unaware of what work I do. So they were talking to me. They were talking to me about the circumstance, and then I began sharing with them some of my initial assessment of what exactly happened. I don't know how the conversation started, but I brought up how, and I never really talked to anyone. The few times that I've been to family functions, I pretty much just stay quiet. So um, I don't really know her spouse. And I was like, oh, so the defibrillator, that huge jolt, released a lot of emotional trauma and heartbreak that had been stored in other areas of the body. And so when they use that pulse, um, it immediately released all of that, and it began to compress and coagulate around the heart, which then induced cardiogenic shock. He did not have the ability to process basically an entire life of trauma and emotions that all went to his heart. And eventually that leads to cardiac arrest. Because they were asking me what I do for work. And I said, I do etheric quantum medicine. That's how we got on that conversation. She understood the gravity because she immediately adjusted in her seat and said, oh, if we had known that you could do that, he'd still be here. I don't know. But I absolutely would have gone out of my way to reverse the cardiogenic shock. Is it because I need to prove that I can do it? It would be for a selfish reason. Because my mother died of cardiogenic shock. That's why I understand what happens when someone who holds all of their emotions in, never talks about their feelings, if they get defibrillated, I understand what happens. That's why. It would have given me the opportunity to heal that wound for myself. Because I would have known if I could do that for him, then I would have known, yeah, I could have done something for my mom. And I just need to accept that she had made a decision to leave. And I could finally lay that to rest. Could you imagine the way that you can affect someone else's journey just by embracing who you are? I've been this way my entire life. There was no awakening moment. There was no point of, you know, I'm suddenly spiritual. I'm suddenly this. I'm suddenly that. I have been this way my entire life. Never even told my family. To this day, my relatives don't know what I do for work. I don't hide it, but I never explain it. I never share. The one person that knows what I do for work is my brother who had, emphasis on had, the heart condition. Yep. You need balance. You need to balance how much you give with how much you allow, how much you allow yourself to receive, how much permission you give yourself to simply exist and accept what creation is handing to you. You're supposed to have way more than what you have. And the reason you're supposed to have way more than what you're currently working with is so that you will have more time, more energy, and more focus to cultivate the very skills that you've spent lifetimes cultivating, to cultivate it in this life so that you can be an even greater gift and expression of divinity, a living spark of divinity. You see, people will sometimes look at me and be like, oh, that girl's full of herself. She thinks she's like God or something. She thinks she's above God. Not at all. I think my life is definitive proof, irrefutable proof that a divinity exists. I don't supersede Creator. I don't override Creator. I'm simply a conduit of what Creator wants. Imagine if you get to the point where you realize that and you just allow, right? You just allow. Allow for the things that need to happen. Allow for the parts of you, the darkness, the shadow, to rise to the surface to be witnessed. Why? So people will know you're badass? No, because the most powerful parts of you that require you to develop the highest degrees of maturity, they're in your shadows. Why? If I've been this way my entire life, have I only now begun speaking about etheric quantum medicine just in the last 6 months? Because until the last 6 months, I did not have the level of maturity necessary for me to safely navigate within myself even a small, tiny portion of an increase of my understanding, my personal understanding of the gravity of my mere existence. If you view me as somehow having been some tremendous gift to you, gift to your healing, gift to your journey. Can you imagine? You're given that awareness and that perception of me because that's the role you're going to play for other people, probably people you don't know exist. But if you allow yourself to embrace yourself enough, you can then begin to allow that part of you and your character to come forward and be witnessed by others. And when you do that, you become the highest expression of divine gift. Against the grain. You have to go against the grain to see the true you. You won't see yourself until you sand away all of these preconceived notions that other people have layered and layered and layered on you. Whoever they needed and wanted you to be in order to feel more comfortable in their existence, that is not who you are. Who you are is the beautiful bare wood after all the varnish has been cleared away. There's something about naked wood, the grain, the beauty that was created through the life of that tree. To hide that between layers or beneath layers and layers and layers of paint. Because what? Because aesthetics, because trends, because what? Strip it down to the bare wood. See the beauty with nothing else on top. That is what you are. You are the lumber that serves as a foundation for the rest of humanity. Our community is not a regular community. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you know that. You are part of something that is so beyond our individual abilities to comprehend. I don't know where this is headed, but I know it's fucking profound. I know the ripples that we create, it will be felt through all of creation. Just because we don't understand, just because we don't know, does not take from the gravity of all of it. I never understood how people would receive me. I honestly still don't. Half the time I feel like I'm full of shit. I'm gonna be honest. Half the time I feel like I'm full of shit and I'm kind of just mumbling and bumbling and rambling on. Genuinely. Genuinely. You can't all be liars. You can't all be liars. How many of you have told me how your life has completely shifted because of videos? I mean, I'm just some opinionated little gal on the internet. I don't know how the hell I'm giving credit for it. Like, you changed your life. What do you mean I changed your life? I didn't do shit but ramble in my office with my plants. That's how I see life. I don't have to know the gravity. I just have to bear witness to it. I have to allow myself to accept the very reality. You guys aren't lying to me. You're having whatever effect you're having. I don't feel I'm doing anything, if I can be blunt. I feel like because you're witnessing me and we are reverberating at the same level of frequency, it's causing you to feel some type of courage. You're like, well, shit. If that girl over there can do it, I can do it too. Yes, the fuck you can. Yes, the fuck you can. If she can speak up for herself, I can speak up for myself. Yes, the fuck you can. Do it. Speak up for yourself. Have some standards. Let people be pissed off. If I can do it, yes, you can too. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why the ripples will never end. I ripple into you, and you ripple into her, and him, and them, and then them, and then them, and then them. And then next thing you know, what started as spilled water turned into a puddle, turned into a pond, turned into a lake, turned into the ocean, turned into the open sea. Yep. Yep. You have to follow your own rhythm. You haven't been doing that. You've been trying to follow someone else's rhythm. I'm not the rhythm you follow. Your rhythm comes from inside. It comes from inside. Be the hunter, not the hunted. This means you have not been allowing yourself to receive. You have not been allowing yourself to go after the very thing that you know is for you. You know it's for you. Do you even know what you're missing out on? My husband pursued me like no other. He did. He did. He did not mince no words. He was just like, no, I like you. I like you. And I'm like, you don't play with me. Oh, you're not playing. If he didn't go after what he wanted, because I don't pursue people, I don't. I don't. And I'm very antisocial, to be honest. If he didn't go out of his way to make it clear, wow. I look back and I'm like, I would have missed out on something huge. I would have missed out on something so fucking huge. I would not trade my life for anything. I just wouldn't. Again, I am living proof of what? Of allowing yourself to receive what creation has set aside for you. It's not selfish, it's necessary. There's no way I could do the work that I do and be the person that I am without him present in my life. He helped to cultivate the person that I am, not by telling me what to do. He did it by never allowing me to feel ashamed of the person that I am, no matter what stage I'm in. Far too many times. His belief in me overrode my fear of myself. Sometimes all you need is someone to believe in you so strongly that your own fear is suspended temporarily because you believe in them. And now they believe in you. So let's try it. You have to trust yourself. And you have to have faith in your process. Everything will be fine. Everything that's happening right now is something that is leading to an even greater existence for you. Allow whatever needs to happen to happen. Allow it. Allow yourself to get to the point where there is no point in fighting things anymore. Yep. See, preservation in reverse, brilliance, consistency. Got to work on your efficiency. You have no context as to why there's friction. Friction is the movement. It's evidence of your flow and movement through your life. I got to go. My session started. So please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And really quick, I have one final event coming up. It's the Morphogenetic Fundamentals Workshop. If you want to learn how to be an energetic badass, which you absolutely are, click on this link or the QR code on the screen and you'll be able to sign up for this. It's coming up fast. I got to go, guys. I'll see